I call to order the meeting of the Verona Common Council for Monday, February 23rd, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we'll have the roll.
Alder Harrison.
Here I am.
Alder Hemke.
Here.
Present.
Alder Lytle.
Here.
Alder Keller.
Here.
Alder Swanson.
Present.
Alder Tucker Long.
Here.
Alder Weiss.
Here.
Okay, everyone's in attendance. That's wonderful. So we will proceed. We'll move on to item 4, which is public comment. If any members of the public wish to speak, now would be the time to do so. Seeing nobody approaching the table, we will move on to item 5, which is approval of the minutes from the February 9th, 2026 Common Council meeting. Questions, comments, corrections, or motions to approve?
Move to approve.
Motion by Alder Swanson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Harrison. Last chance for corrections. Seeing no corrections. All those in favor of approving the minutes from the February 9th, 2026 Common Council meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the minutes are approved. With that, we will move on to item 6, which is mayor's business. I just got one thing for you. It's a discussion and possible action regarding the ongoing discussions related to the combined fire and EMS district. I did attend the meeting virtually. I was on the way to a doctor's appointment, so I might have missed some of the nuances of the discussion. But basically, they just talked. Well, first of all, we were welcomed back with open arms to the discussion, and second of all, they basically just talked about the upcoming study. But since the study hasn't happened yet, there wasn't really a lot to talk about. I also spent some time coming up with some ideas in my own head for things that we could potentially ask for, including things like a mediation process, because right now, under the current Fitrona EMS process, if we don't like the budget, for example, our options are either to just not pay it and put ourselves into a standoff, or to withdraw from the district. And I would like it if there was some other way where we could have mediation. And then also I was trying to think of some ways we could point to for each member of the district could have like a certain response time or some other kind of coverage. And that way we could point to and one, be able to tell if we're getting good or bad service, and two, if we're not getting good service, we could go to mediation and say, hey, we're supposed to have an ambulance response time of, under 5 minutes anywhere in the city, and we're seeing response times over 10 minutes, we could bring it there. But that's just some ideas I'm kicking around. We're still just waiting for the study. So if anyone has any questions or comments for me, or even just stuff I should bring to the next meeting, I'd be happy to hear it either right now or you can just pull me aside whenever it's convenient. Okay. That concludes mayor's business. We'll move on to item 7, announcements. Any announcements from the council? I have one. As you'll note, our city admin is out. So I do have a get well card for him. So if you could sign it, that'd be great. Thus concludes announcements. With that, we'll move on to item 8, which is the administrator's report. Ms. Frywall.
I only have the one thing, which is that we did turn in the build grant this afternoon, so we'll hear about that in a few months. That's all I got.
Any questions? Seeing no questions, we'll move on to item 9, which is engineer's report. Ms. Fisher.
Thank you. For the Country View Road project, Phase 3, the contractors resumed storm sewer construction at the Country View Road and West Road intersection. Storm sewer installation is expected to be complete this spring. Oops, hold on one sec. Plans have been submitted and reviewed for Apex Phase 2 water main connection, which goes through Whispering Coves. And finally, for Avalon Ridge, the utility work is expected to resume the week of this week, actually. So with that, I can take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Fisher? Seeing no questions, we'll move on to item 10, which is committee reports. First up, we have 10A Finance Committee. Alder Humke.
Yes, I make a motion for payment of the bills in the amount of $20,386,840.45.
Motion by Alder Humke. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Lytle. Alder Humke.
Yes, we have 3 payments related to tax settlements. The first one is the Verona Area School District for $15,440,272. The second is to Dane County for $3,622,822. $6,622,881, sorry, and to Madison Area Technical College for $686,263, totaling, if I didn't say this, $19,931,416.
Thank you for that explanation. Questions or comments on the motion to pay the bills? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of paying the bills in the amount specified signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Humke.
Yeah, I move to deny the claim by Nathan Johnson.
Motion by Alder Humke. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Keller. Alder Humke.
Nathan Johnson submitted a claim for a manhole retaining ring failure and associated damages in the amount of $652.83. The incident occurred on February 4th, 2026 on Northern Lights Road, about 40 feet north of the end of the median that contains the entrance to Jabberwocky parking. The claim was submitted on February 12th, 2026. SIGMEC, the city's insurance carrier, recommended denying the claim for 2 reasons. The first, under Wisconsin law, a municipality does not face liability unless there is a known danger that is compelling enough to warrant specific non-discretionary action by the municipality. Lodel versus Progressive Northern Insurance Company, 2002, Wisconsin 71, 253, Wisconsin 2nd, I think it's 2nd District, 323, 646, I don't know what all the, NW2D 314 case. Wisconsin courts have developed a 3-step test to determine whether the known and compelling danger exception applies in a given case. And the first is whether something happened to create a compelling danger. And the second is whether a government actor found out about the danger, making it known and compelling danger. And 3, whether the government actor addressed the danger by taking one or more precautionary measures or instead did nothing and let the danger continue. That's in case Hauser versus Community Insurance Corporation, 2009, Wisconsin Appellate Court 151, 27 to 28, 321, Wisconsin 2nd District 729, 774.
What kind of soup is this?
You are not muted, Mr. Barrientos. Thank you.
774 Northwest 2D 653. In this case, if the city has a streets and storm sewer plan in place, routine cleaning, maintenance, and inspection of roadway and storm sewer, and had no notice of any problems in the area prior to the date of the loss, then it is our CIVMEC's opinion that there is no evidence to show liability on the part of the city. Based on the recommendation of the city's insurance carrier, staff recommend denial of the claim.
Thank you for that explanation. Questions or comments on the motion for denial? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of denying the claim of Nathan Johnson signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the denial passes. Anything further from Finance Committee?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
All right, with that, we move on to 10B, which is Plan Commission. Alder Swanson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I recommend that we take no motion on resolution number 26-006, approving a preliminary plan for the senior housing we've talked about previously. We haven't received any more information.
Okay. This one, as you'll note, we talked about last time regarding the senior housing, and there was a motion basically to refer it to the next meeting and to allow our senior center director to connect with the people from Erdman, and they haven't had a chance yet. We expect that to happen in the near future. But of course, it's back on the agenda because the council motion specifically said it has to come back at the next meeting. So that's what happened.
Yeah. So I guess I don't recommend we take no action. I recommend that we move to consider it next time.
Okay. Motion by Alder Swanson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Humke. Anything to add, Alder Swanson?
No, but I saw that Alder Trucker-Long had a question.
Alder Tucker-Long.
Can I move to amend the movement
You can make a, yeah, you
or
can.
make a second motion?
I guess it depends on what
alternate
you're, what you're trying to do.
You can propose to amend it, and if I like it, I'll make it a friendly, and I'll just accept it.
I think we should move to have it at a future meeting and not the next one, and that gives staff time to meet, and we don't have to keep voting to delay it.
That is an option. I do feel like we should make a decision, I guess, either way. in the
that's fair.
sense that like, at some point, we're going to have to decide, and if people say yes or people say no, that's fine. So I'm comfortable bringing it to the next meeting if
Okay,
people are.
that's fair.
Okay. Let's see, motioned and seconded. Any questions or comments on this motion?
I guess.
Oh, sorry.
If I should comment, like to Alder Tucker Long's point, I think that if we really haven't gotten the information back next time, I'd rather just move to approve with some sort of conditional stipulation, requiring them to do the things that we care about. But if we can give them another 2 weeks, I'm happy to give them another 2 weeks.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of referring this to our next council meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. We will talk about it at our next council meeting. Anything further from Plan Commission?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
All right, with that, we move on to 10C, which is Public Works, Sewer, and Water Committee. Alder Tucker Long.
Thank you. I move to approve inspection services contract for Hyper Drive roadway and bridge construction. Sorry, project 2025-109 to Strand for a cost not to exceed $1,940,000.
Motion by Alder Tucker Long. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Alder Keller. Alder Tucker Long.
Thank you. Hyperdrive roadway and bridge will be under construction through December of 2027. Staff recommend contracting construction inspection services with Strand. Strand has inspected similar projects throughout the state and has extensive experience on bridge construction. All fees associated with inspection services are the responsibility of the developer. Staff recommend approval.
Thank
just-
you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, just to clarify, we are not paying this amount because it's big and scary sounding, but it's not ours.
Okay. Motion before the body. Questions or comments on this motion? Alder Lytle.
Question for Mr. Manning, if he doesn't mind. While I think it's important to have expertise and a firm like Strand involved in these activities, I was curious just in general how we're approaching scoping those services with the hopeful addition of city staff over the next however many months.
Yes. So for this one, a bridge is a very specific project. We put out a request for qualifications. We had 5 responses from consultants. And then we evaluated based on experience and recommendations from others that build bridges. So we came to Strand. They're our preferred option, and then negotiated the price from there. I would like to involve more of my staff on projects such as this, but it's not realistic at this time. So hopefully in the future, we can get some more people trained up and be bridge experts for us. If we're going to build other bridges, which is unlikely.
Yeah, just to clarify, I was curious as to when we scope the RFQs in the future, if, you know, the number of days on site, number of reports we're asking them to prepare versus us preparing in-house might tilt more towards city staff, not expecting them to have expertise on inspecting structural types of activities, but, you know, just kind of balancing that workload between consultants and city staff. So I'm sure this is all part of your long-range planning, but just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, the requirements for what the consultant is going to produce at the end of the project are in the scope. We're going to mirror a lot of the requirements from Wisconsin DOT projects because they built many more bridges than we do. But in the end, yes, we will get the information from the consultant. It's going to be probably to a lesser degree than what the DOT requires, just because they have other hoops and requirements to satisfy. But in this case, I think we're going to get an amazing product when it's done, and I'm hoping in the future that I can put more City of Verona staff on it.
I guess if I could ask one clarifying question then. So the new engineering tech position that were added, has that been filled yet or not?
Applications are still, I think think they're due next week.
Okay.
So that is still open.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the inspection services contract for Hyperdrive roadway and bridge construction project number 2025-109 with Strand in the not to exceed amount signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Tucker Long.
Thank you. Regarding the elevated tank with booster station site study and preliminary design agreement, we would like to table this to a future council meeting as we are not ready to discuss this today.
Okay. So I guess if anyone has any questions or comments, obviously you can make them because it's noticed on the agenda. However, we can also just take no action and we'll bring it back up when it makes sense to bring it up. So any questions or comments? Alder Swanson.
I'm just curious if we can get a little more clarity on what it is that we're waiting for. Like, I'm happy to sit on it. I just want to know what it is.
Alder Tucker Long. Or Mr. Manning.
We're waiting for property information.
Any other questions or comments on this item? All right. Since we're taking no action, I'll refer back to Alder Tucker Long.
Okay, moving on to reviewing the key criteria utilized in the site selection matrix for potential sites for the new Public Works facility. I believe we have Barrientos here to make a presentation.
Mr. Barrientos, you're up. And what kind of soup was it?
Yep. Good evening. It was a Japanese soup, miso.
Oh, delicious.
It's really good. Sorry. Should I proceed now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're here today to talk about the site selection ranking, and which is task 2 of this process. And we have a slideshow here. And we, as you know, we did these facility needs update from when we did the 2017. And now we're here at the site selection process. The last meeting, which I presented to you, a list of criteria that both were more engineering input and then council input level items. And we gathered those numbers, rankings from you. And we'd like to go through these and discuss what kind of the direction now that we understand the council would like us to take with the site selection. So moving on to the next slide, and I do have Josh Cook on here, and he'll be talking too. So we're at task 2 now, and we evaluated the 5 sites and looked at their feasibility, and we developed footprints for each of these, of more of a test print to see if we could get the space in there for the building and the site. And now with this direction, we can dive deeper and evaluate the sites and develop our concept levels further. So on to the next slide. Of the 5 sites, we're Shady Bend, Valley Road North, Valley Road South, Pine Row, Wayland Road, and Business Park, all on the south side in a cluster, some in the southeast, some on the southwest end of the city. And the next one, Josh.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about each of the sites. I know you guys talked about them previously, but I'll just kind of give a quick recap about them. So we have Shady Bend. It's about a 40-acre plot of land, currently zoned agriculture. Valley Road North, 27 acres, zoned agriculture as well. And then just across the street, Valley Road South, 26 acres, zoned agriculture. And then adjacent to that one is Pine Row, 27 acres again, agriculture. Wayland Road, a little more east of those properties. This one's going to be 31 acres, zoned agriculture. And then our final one, Business Park, 40 acres and zoned suburban industrial. So we did receive all of your guys' rankings, and based on that, we were able to put them in the criteria matrix where we see fit, and also take into account what you guys value, and some things that are more policy driven and are going to rank higher, and things that are going to rank lower. From there, each criteria point gets a weighting factor. So at the highest, we have 1.5, and then we go down to the bottom to 1.0. We then went through every site and we gave it a non-weighted ranking. So 5 being the best, and then 1 or 0 being the worst. So we went through every site, and we, take into consideration, previous project experience, existing knowledge of the sites, and overall, as design professionals, we're using our best judgment at this stage to, provide the best recommendation and best weighting factor for each site. So we went through each site, ranked it, and then the weighting factor basically acts as a multiplier. So on this first one, we have 5.0, which is the best ranking, and then the 1.5 gives it a higher rating of 7.5. So we went through every site, and what we ended up finding was that Site 6 Business Park came out on the lead with 92 total points, and the lowest site is Pine Row with a total ranking of 61 points. Following Business Park is Wayland Road, which is short behind it at 89.5. So what does this all mean? Business Park is the preferred site based on that criteria matrix. Some things that make this the preferred site is the appropriate size and parcel configuration. It's enough space for the public works. It also provides adequate space for expansion. It has appropriate street size and capacity. A few of the roads or the sites along Pine Road, Valley Road would need significant roadway improvements due to increase in traffic. So Kettle Moraine Trail can handle the amount of vehicles and traffic that will be going to this site. The zoning is favorable, although zoning is ranked pretty low because it's easy for the city, to adjust that. It is zoned with compatible DPW operations. Utility and infrastructure. This is one thing, that definitely knocked a lot of points off of the other ones. It would be very easy to extend utilities off Kettle Moraine Trail, and there already is some development planned in this business park. There's other sites around that are going to be seeing buildings in the future, and going along with those developments is always helpful. Another large thing is this site minimizes impact on residential areas and reduces other land use conflict. A few of the other sites, I've heard some, disinterest with the Shady Bend choice where it's located. I think this site handles that really well. It supports 50-year expansion. I think its location in the city is very favorable too. Having a city-owned piece of property there really helps with, roadway developments if things ever want to extend. And then also, the size of the site as well allows for expansion. With a lot of our buildings, we want to be able to leave room, for another cold storage or expand onto the heated parking. We don't want to design a building, that's just set in stone for where you guys currently are. We want something, that has possibilities and advantages for the future. And then lastly, a secure and controlled layout. Where it's located, you have trees along the back fronts, and then the business park, you can fence it off with automated gates. It really situates the public works in a nice position. We've had, conflict with other municipalities where, there's too much public access or it's on a public roadway, and site security is a bigger problem there. But in a situation like this, I think the site really, takes care of that with the trees in the back. And then next steps. So if we decide to go with this site as a preferred site, we will take this test fit, which we did previously, and advance it into a building and site conceptual design. So what we'll do with that is we're going to start to lay out the floor plan, lay out the rooms, major room layouts, all the key elements for the offices, the crew rooms would be, and then site layout as well. Take a little deeper dive into where things are going to go on site, show concrete pads, really think about the topography of the site, where the stormwater retention could potentially go. And then in addition, do some building sections and elevations, start to get into the architectural elements of the building. You know, what is the building what might it look like from the outside? How might the heights of, you know, certain portions of the building, you know, the repair garage is going to be the tallest, but, you know, what will the admin and crew look like? Aerial renders, these are always really nice to do and show everyone. It definitely makes the project come alive more once you start to see it in 3D and, you know, some architectural design to it. And then finally, a high-level cost estimate and draft development schedule. You know, this is really important for budgeting purposes. As this moves forward, we really want a number in mind and at least start high, and we can always, you know, throughout this design process, the number can be more and more refined, but initially there will be a bit of design contingency involved, but getting that budget number is really important. And that's pretty much everything I had. I don't know if you have any more things you want to comment on, Norman, or if we want to open up to questions.
No, and I think it's good we did the ranking, and thank you, Josh. And again, we've done this a lot, and it's keep in mind that a lot of my municipality clients have not gotten their first site, and then we have to go to second ranking. And so it's good we've gone through that and vetted out, at least at your level, at the council level, what your priorities are. And so I think it's good to keep a few sites in play for your options. So if we find that a year out from now, like this site isn't going to work out, we have a backup option. But we think that this is a good option and that it's developable, and that will, in the concept phase, when we'll come back, as Josh said, with some plans, analysis, and cost, and a development schedule, and identify some of the key permitting issues or zoning issues that will occur, and how long that might take as well. So that's really the end of our conversation for now, and open to questions or comments.
I guess I have one question. Can you put it back on the slide that shows all the different sites? And then I guess I would ask Ms. Trustee if she can make it bigger on the whole monitor so we can see it, because my eyes are not that great.
Can we pinch in, Josh?
Oh, there we
do you
go.
want to see the site plan or the aerial?
This one, I think this looks good at least. And then, so I guess I would also ask then for next steps. So I think at this point, we would probably want a decision of the council on which site to target. And then would we, I guess, open discussions with whoever owns the site, or would we talk about site planning before then?
Is that question to us?
Yes.
Yeah. And the way we've laid out our scope of work is we would go ahead and do a concept plan per our scope of work and vet it out one more level to make sure, yes, this is going to work well for the city long-term operationally. And then the council can make a decision how to approach the owners in what manner.
Okay.
So in summary, Norman, you would recommend them reaching out to the owners after our next task is complete?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we may find things like, that may not work too well. That's too cumbersome. That's too expensive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess then with that, I would open up to discussion on which site Alders want. Alder Lidle. And then Alder Swanson.
Thank you. Just a couple questions. As you were going through your presentation, you stated that the site was city-owned. I'm not trying to catch you on a technicality. I assume you mean it's already annexed into the city?
Oh, for business park. No, I was explaining if you guys were to go with this site, it would be a city-owned site, and it's in a key location in the city for further development.
But our understanding is that it is already part of the business park. It wouldn't require annexation. I was just looking at the zoning map, and it looked like if it's currently zoned suburban industrial, I wasn't sure where we sit in terms of.
It's already in the city. It's already annexed in, so that was one of the benefits for this site, is that it doesn't require annexation. whereas most of the other ones do.
And there's already dedicated right-of-way for the extension of Arrowhead Way, or is that going to require like a revision of that subdivision plat or?
It's not dedicated yet,
Okay.
but you can, I guess from the aerial, you can see where it's heading towards. And that is where the utilities currently are, both sanitary and water are at that intersection.
Great. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Alder Swanson.
Thank you. I think both honestly, even before we had processed the actual matrix, I think I was leaning more and more interest in 5 and 6 as it was. So it's nice that we have some numbers on the page to help support that. I guess. Sorry, I had a thought. Right. I'm a regular user of the Prairie Moraine Park just south of there. I think it looks like it lines up, but even with the suggested layout that's proposed, it doesn't come very close at all to the actual park boundary, right? It's like half the parcel away even, because that bottom border is the top of that section of the park. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes, right.
Slope down?
Okay. So yeah, that was just the thing I wanted to make sure, because I want to make sure that we're not impeding people's enjoyment of that area. So thanks for clearing that up.
Other thoughts from the council? Alder Tucker Long.
I also like 5 and 6. So I'm happy with how the rankings came out. I do like the fact that the conceptual design currently fits in the non-forested area of the property. I'm always in favor of keeping forested areas if we can, especially being so close to a nature area.
Other thoughts from the council? Alder Swanson.
Thanks. One more thought, just thank you for walking us through this process. It's been helpful as someone that doesn't have much of a background in site selection. This has been very useful, and I'm glad we went along with coming back to you after you put this together like back in 2017 the first time. So thank you for your work.
Alder Tucker
Thank
Long.
you as well for the comment.
Alder Tucker Long.
So the next phase is doing a more in-depth site conceptual design, is that correct, or a site design?
Yes, it'll be a conceptual design of the selected site here that we're showing. So we'll advance it another level.
Okay, and the next step only deals with one site, or does it deal with the top 2 that were circled in red?
Just one.
I believe it's just
Yes.
one. Our
Yep,
scope
it's just
is
the
just
one.
one
Okay.
selected.
Alder Humke.
Yeah, I'm curious, when you come back and you give us a high-level cost estimate, will you let us know if the cost is higher than like an average cost, or like how will we know how much it is in relation to potentially like other sites if you don't? I understand why you're not going to do the other work, but like, will you give us sort of a feel of if it's outside the bounds of what we could?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we will, particularly with the site development costs of grading and drainage, utility extension. As long as we can get the building pad and the general footprint, that doesn't and will not change too much between the sites. It's really going to be the site costs that will vary. So, but we'll let you know if we see this is extraordinary civil engineering cost compared to other developments that we've done.
Okay, as a follow-up question, like given the topography of this space, like thinking about future costs, are you going to consider that as well? Like, in 10 years from now, if we need to expand, would it be more likely to be more expensive on this property versus the other one?
Yeah, yes, we will. If our timeline, our planning horizon is 20 years out, so
Okay.
we will take a look if 20-year projection, how much we might encroach. And I understand the city's saying they like the the forest area looks beautiful to me too. So we would try to minimize that impact.
Okay, great, thank you.
Other thoughts from the council? Alder Weiss.
The, doing the plan, I know we discussed this last time, so maybe we're trying to cut the same grass twice here, but the, if we go down the path of the site plan and then, does that put us at a disadvantage in terms of just like regular negotiation for price for the acquisition of the property? I mean, are we painting ourselves into a corner there without trying to work with both of these properties and trying to get to like ballpark numbers or something? Or maybe that's not a real possibility, but do we have options there for trying to get to a number on the acquisition cost of the land prior to taking this next step, or is that really not an option?
I mean, I guess technically, the council can do whatever it
No,
wants.
I think just by doing this process right now is phase 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, the council
You
can,
are
you know,
informing, well, this is a public.
Go ahead.
No, I was, my experience has been by laying it out that you have up to 3 options that are well rated, or at least 2 here in this case, you're indicating to the public that you have options.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I would also,
I think that's key for you.
I guess I would also add too that, I mean, part of, my understanding is part of the site plan kind of drawing it out is that if there were problems, we would get them when they design the site plan. So like if we agreed to acquire it and then as they design it, they're like, oh, this might not work how we want it, we could back ourselves into a corner.
Does it make sense for us to do, are there rules about us receiving the next phase of the plan in closed session prior to making the next phase public, or is that something that would be ill-advised?
I mean, I always think that everything should be in open session, but I do feel like the negotiation perspectives, like let's say there's some stuff with the site plan that maybe we like some of it and don't like other parts of it, or there's other costs. I mean, that could all be in closed session as a factor of like how we negotiate with the person or the landowner, I should say.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I have a question or motion or anything, but I think I like the site plans. I think that the analysis seems reasonable. I think that both 5 and 6, both of those sites look like viable paths forward. Yeah, so, all right, thank you.
Alder Tucker Long.
I'd like to move to approve the next step in the process based on the conclusions of the site selection matrix that produced the final site rankings.
Second.
I guess I would prefer if you would pick which the specific site. I know that's the business park one, but could that be part of the motion just so it's clear?
Yeah, I was just reading the one that was suggested in the packet.
Okay.
So yes, my movement included that the top ranking site is the business park site.
Okay. Motion by Alder Tucker Long, seconded by Alder Swanson.
And
Motion.
I understood that requirement to be part of the.
Excellent. Motion before the body. Questions or comments on the motion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of proceeding to the next step in the process, which involves looking at the top ranked site, which is the business park, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Tucker Long.
Thank you. I move to approve the AECom contract amendment number 2 to the Mark Drive reconstruction project for an additional design cost not to exceed $47,635.
Motion by Alder Tucker Long. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Harrison. Alder Tucker Long.
Thank you. Additional AECom design costs will be incurred for plan modifications and project scope changes identified during the initial review and preliminary design of the project.
Thank you. Other questions or comments on this motion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of approving the additional design costs for AECom to develop final plans for the Mark Drive 2025-2026 reconstruction project in the amount specified, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Anything further from Public Works?
Nothing further.
Excellent. With that, we'll move on to item 11, which is adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Alder Hoax to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Humke. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And we are adjourned at 7:41 PM. Thank you, everyone.